So, incoming President Al Panlilio, outgoing President Secretary Rene Almendras, MAP governors and members, dear friends, unang-una, happy vibes sa bagong taon at magandang tanghali sa inyong lahat. I'd be remiss if I did not also acknowledge Mike Toledo because he reminded me this morning and previous days to acknowledge him as a Vice President of your organization. Hindi naman siya insistent. I just got 12 text messages this morning. So Mike, I've done my job, right? So thank you for your invitation today. The last time I spoke to you was 19 years ago in January of 2006. So it's a privilege to again join the fellowship of the MAP. I will speak to you today about both AI and AL. When I got the email invitation, I mistook AL for AI. It was Al Panlilio pala. So congratulations to you, Al, on the distinction and the responsibility for becoming the 77th President of MAP. Your members will be expecting a lot from you. The circumstances of my first meeting with Al were actually quite unconventional. It was a particularly chaotic year, Y2K, the year 2000, my second year at PLDT. I was then looking for someone to head PLDT's enterprise business. Al was referred to me as a candidate by a colleague, but my only available time slot for his interview was the wake of the father of a mutual friend, midnight at the Arlington Funeral Homes along Araneta Avenue. So that was an odd backdrop for beginnings, but that's life, isn't it? In a place of great sorrow and loss, we witnessed the birth of a distinctive career and a lifelong friendship. That first meeting introduced me to one of my closest friends and one of my most reliable executives. But I must say that Al has graduated to sartorial elegance nowadays, and great credit must belong to his wife, Angela. Thank you, Angela. Now on to this nebulous subject of artificial intelligence. At my age, I've probably seen more modern history than many of you. If you're wondering where my confidence to speak on this matter comes from, it is the fact that AI is not the first revolution I've encountered in my life. To all of us, AI is touted as this monumental technology that will forever alter the landscape of business. That is in fact true. AI will be impactful. For us frontliners in the technology battlefield, it is simply another big challenge. But let's talk for a moment about fear, because fear and progress are strange bedfellows. Every time a new technology arrives, it carries with it the ghost of Banquo, of Macbeth. That ghost whispers into our collective ear, this will replace you, this will obsolete you, this will end you. History is replete with echoes of fear. When the automobile replaced the horse-drawn carriage, people worried about the livelihood of coachmen and stable hands. When the telephone was invented, switchboard operators saw the roles eventually vanish. And yes, BPO workers, a cornerstone of economies like ours, may one day find most of their tasks, repetitive, routine, or simple, fully automated. Time and again, we have confronted these fears only to emerge transformed and not diminished. The end of one job often signals the beginning of another. When coachmen disappeared, mechanics and drivers rose in their place. When telephone operators faded into history, a new world telecommunications, faster, more versatile, and more useful, was born. And there are examples in PLDT. One of our labor relations personnel was a former switchboard operator. My personal secretary, Kathy, was once the voice on mobile that said, the number you dialed is out of coverage area. So AI reflects not just the rhythm of progress, it is the heartbeat of mankind. So the lesson here is that humanity has never been shaped by the jobs we lose. Instead, we are defined by the future we create. AI is already changing the way we live. When a colleague was asked by his wife to shop for washing machines, he decided to simply take pictures of every machine available before uploading them to ChatGPT to analyze the options in a spreadsheet. So for some of you may know, dating apps are also determining our romantic futures through algorithms. These relatively mundane innovations will do foreshadow even bigger ones to address. For example, malnutrition and hunger, which is at the forefront of our minds in PBSP. But think about AI's ability to help in getting leftover food from restaurants and hotels and distributing them to the poor. Or something even bigger. Imagine if you could develop an end-to-end digital map of our nation's food supply chain. That one we experienced when there was panic buying because of the COVID in the year 2000. We should know exactly which food items are consumed, say per month per individual, how much are in inventory nationwide, how much are in transit, and what and where we produce or where we import our raw materials and our food items. So what factors do we need or are slowing down to develop AI adoption in the Philippines? There are basically three impediments. First, data. For AI to work, companies need to feed their algorithms vast cache of data which must be complete, high quality, and readily available. I think PLDT has formed this Kayana, if Ricky is listening, so that we could gather the data for each of the companies within the group, not only the telco, but also power, water, and tollways. Second, talent and expertise, probably the most scarce resources, because AI needs to be customized for particular business needs. Open source solutions may not always work. And third, infrastructure, robust data networks and AI-enabled data centers with huge and ultra-fast computing capabilities. PLDT is currently building and planning to build AI data centers, not just hyperscalers. Looking ahead, those born this year, 2025, they're called Gen Betas, will not know a world without AI and robots, because these will be integrated by then into their daily lives. So since this is the Management Association of the Philippines, what does AI mean for CEOs? You know, there are always intergenerational gaps in our management hierarchies, if only because of age. However, today, these differences are wider and more significant. Millennials and Gen Zs make up 74% of the employee core of PLDT and Smart. Gen X comprises 24%, and of course, boomers like me comprise the remaining 1%. Fresh from Wharton, I thought that management was as simple as being thrown directly into a den of wolves. Now, millennials and Gen Zs represent a new breed of wolves. They are disruptive, they have bad hair, they wear different clothes. They're addicted to a bewildering raft of apps and messaging platforms. I think you must know that from your children and your grandchildren. They have been defined as digital nomads, very mobile and very digital. And some accuse them of being entitled and self-centered and not entirely communicative. But I don't know if that is fair. It's quite possible that they're misunderstood. To them, work isn't about their paycheck only, it's about their story. Those more senior see this as being self-centered, but that narrative is also framed by the world they know they're inheriting, which is either magical or collapsing. The misunderstanding cuts both ways. They roll their eyes at our jokes. They're challenged with jargon we don't understand, like momol and fubu and shish and riz, IRL, YOLO, YONO, and Gina G. They say sana all when you give out bonuses. Do you know what those terms actually mean? No. Maybe Gio does. Some I cannot say, right? Like FUBU. The point, though, is we need to understand them first so we can manage them better, because they're your future management core. So our predecessors were similarly dismayed by us baby boomers. To them, we were hippies and activists, privileged kids who never had to go through the perils of war. Despite the divide, I know that this new generation still craves challenges that stretch them, leaders who inspire them, teachers who mentor them, and workplaces where their jobs connect to something larger than their work. There are moments when the wisdom of years serves as a useful compass for uncharted waters, especially in a place like the Philippines. But even the oldest compasses must one day allow younger hands to steer the ship. Succession is not merely about finding replacements and nurturing them for the future. It is about creating space for growth, recognizing when our wisdom must give way to their energy, when our experience must make room for their ingenuity. Leadership, after all, is not a chair to sit on forever. It is a torch to be passed on. So to close, in 1857, Harper's Magazine, the oldest monthly in America, published an essay that commented on the politics and society then. I'd like to quote a portion of that essay because it seems to connect to our time and to almost every part of this world, including the Philippines. And I quote, "The political cauldron seethes and bubbles with toil and trouble. Politics hang like a cloud, dark and silent upon the horizon. It is a solemn moment. Of our troubles, no man can see the end." In today's vocabulary, a Gen Z on TikTok might say it more elegantly, and I quote, "Nothing is okay and everything sucks." But the job of those of us in business is to remain upbeat. In our group, the optimists have it not because they are right, but because they are positive. This brings to mind what Linus, the younger, more optimistic friend of Charlie Brown, or Peanuts, once said, "I guess it's wrong to worry about tomorrow. Maybe we should think only about today." To which the ever-good-natured Charlie Brown responded, "No, that's giving up. I'm still hoping yesterday will get better." And so do we, right? In this, every generation, but especially those who come next, the millennials, the Gen Zs, the alphas, and the betas, are allies, not adversaries. AI, with its immense power, is not an existential threat. It is a tool. Together, they form the scaffoldings of the next great cathedrals of progress. But scaffoldings alone do not build edifices. It is human creativity and ingenuity. The minds, the hearts, and the hands of men and women ultimately are responsible for turning visions into grandiose creations, no matter the era. Margaret Mead once said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." In this hall, it is this small group which has the collective will, the intelligence, and courage needed to turn the page to the next great chapter of our nation. And now you can even get help from AI. Congratulations once again, Al, at mabuhay ang lahat ng bumubuo ng Management Association of the Philippines. Again, happy vibes sa bagong taon. Thank you.